They call me Stutta Boii, aka Flo Sika. I'm doing this video for everybody out there that wants to know what NBA 2K15 is like. NBA 2K15 was what NBA 2K14 should have been. If you're wondering if it's worth buying, it is. Obviously, the way the game plays, it's a lot smoother. The players are a lot more proportion to what NBA players should look like as far as the size. Because last year, constant years prior, the players have always been real bulky. This year, they're actually more slender and lean, which is what they should be. And I think that's a very, very good thing as far as trying to make it feel more real when you're playing the game. Controls feel a lot better this year. You definitely want to utilize the passing features, the L2 or the trigger, whichever one you're playing with, but hitting the L2 and hitting X is the bounce pass, L2 and square is the alley-oop, L2 and triangle is the lob pass over, which you really want to utilize, because if you try to pass the wrong way, it will affect you. Me, per se, I usually play MYCareer, so I'm going to get into that right now. I was asked on my Instagram, in MYCareer, do you get to choose the team you get to go on? You get about 10 or so teams to choose to play for. Some of them might be the team you want to play for, some of them might not be. You do get a good amount of teams to choose from, and it'll be based on interest, the highest interest in you to the lowest interest in you. When you're playing NBA 2K15 MYCareer, you'll notice that the structure is completely different. When you're trying to improve your player, it's not based on individual attributes, but more or less building up attributes in particular groups. So, for instance, you'll have your shooting attribute, which improves your ability to shoot the mid-range shot, the three-pointer, etc. Then you'll have an inside scoring attribute, which improves everything to that nature, and so on and so forth, from athletic, rebounding, and defense, I believe. And you start off like a 400 VC, and you put that towards your athleticism, it will automatically bump you up to the next level in your upgrades, and then you're able to dunk and things. As, say, like a point guard, you have a point guard, and this year you're not able to pick what type of point guard you are or what type of position you are. You can't be an athletic point guard, but you can make your player become more athletic NVC attributes. Now you no longer are able to buy badges. You have to earn them, which was skills, signature skills last year. Now it's badges. You have to earn those the more you play, and depending on how you play and you perform, you get particular badges. I had a big problem with this last year, and years before playing MYCareer or MyPlayer, of your team AI being stupid. This year, they have improved on the team AI doing stupid things, but just know they didn't improve to the point where you're going to not get frustrated at times. Your players still, at times, will miss wide open layups when they shouldn't, or do something like try to make a layup as opposed to just going up for a dunk when they're in the post, for instance. You feed your player. I know this has had to happen to more people than me, where you'll try to feed the post, guy will be wide open under the basket, and instead of going up for a dunk to finish it off the right way, he'll try to go up for a soft layup and get blocked or miss the layup. That still happens, but it's not as noticeable as it was last year and years prior. It's a better storyline than last year, but it's still very. I prefer, personally, my opinion, I prefer it just to have the draft combine and you playing, and you can have a choice of toggling off or on the story mode and just play the game, because the story seems rather forced. And if you're gonna have gaming stories, you should have choices. For instance, I've always thought NBA 2K should employ a whole, you can either come in as a superstar, like a LeBron James coming in and being like the top rated draft pick, and then what you have to do to a team that's not that good. Being an average player that ends up impressing people, or being this big star. I've always felt that if they wanted to do the storyline, that they should give you multiple choices of what kind of story you want to come into. But that's just me and my opinion again. I still feel that the draft combine should be included in maybe 2K16, or in the future I'm hoping that they bring that back. But another good feature is now when you're making accessory choices, it is based on home and away. So now when you make your players get ready for each game, you can make it to where it's like, I want to wear white rubber bands when I'm home. I want to wear black rubber bands, team color rubber bands when I'm away. You can do that. And then the good thing on top of that, you get free rubber bands when you're starting out as opposed to have to pay for them. And then the creative player process. Now, I was sold on the whole scanning of the face. I tried to scan my face, and it took a fucking long time. And then even on top of that, it didn't scan it how I would like to. It just kept making this weird morphed face. You might see what I'm talking about. Maybe it's just mine. But when I tried to use the PlayStation camera and move around, it kept forcing my face on a player model that they had. It kept trying to force my face onto that structure. And so now I have like two lips or double lips or weird shit like that. It's a dope concept. I just hope that there's like a patch for it or something, because I really was looking forward to put my face in the game, and it's in the game, but it's not in the game. And if you experience this, comment below when you start to play the game and you try to scan your face in. If it goes through fine, ignore this shit. But if you play it and you notice that your face is weirdly, let me know, because I experienced this. Maybe give me a tip or two, but the game is better than it was last year. I've been playing 2K since the original 2K and Dreamcast. For NBA 2K on Dreamcast with Allen Iverson on the cover. So I mean, to see the progression of this game, I can't do nothing but be happy. It's still sitting on the screen back there. I'm happy just to play it. I was a fan of NBA Live for a while, and then when they went next gen, it just seems like they could never keep up with 2K at that point. And it seems like 2K's been progressing. They fall in some areas and then they progress, but they've always had a steady quality. As opposed to me, for NBA Live, I've seen them where they got better, especially when they had Mike Wang for a few years. And then at some point when Mike Wang left and came back to NBA 2K, it just seemed like they went belly up. So Mike Wang must have something that brings success to a franchise. So yes, I'm gonna continue to support 2K. I will try to support Live if the game's decent. I just like seeing basketball games, and I feel games can't get better without competition. So I want to see both sides do well, because they're going to challenge each side to bring their best game, even though that hasn't been the case. I'm not one of these fanboys that'll tell you, oh, this game's just awesome just because. I will tell you straight up, if I think the game's not worth it, I think this is what you should have gotten November 15th last year. So yeah, till next time, I'm out.